As Mr. Average Hockey Fan here once again, and now that it's up to the All-Star break, we're at the 51 game mark for Montreal. Some teams got 50, some teams got a little bit more, a little bit less, but we're at the All-Star break, 51 games in, 10 games to go till Montreal, 10 days to go till Montreal plays again. I'd like to discuss my three team MVPs for the year, the three most important players, in my opinion, so far this year. Well, the three guys that have done the most so far this year, in my opinion, and stand out the most to me and have helped the team in their winning cause. They may not have the most points, they may not have be the most standout, outlandish players, even though I think three of these guys are the big standouts on the team. Some honorable mentions that I didn't have on the list: Tatar, Gallagher for sure. Shaw, till he got injured, was on fire. And some guys, who else? Petrie for sure could have been on the list. I love Jeff Petrie. Those are some honorable mentions for the name I didn't miss. Names I missed, excuse me. But I wanted to put them on the list, but to me, they didn't have the impact these other three guys did on winning. But they're right there with them. They're part of the team. Habs are doing great. Good to see him beat Arizona last night. It was so good to see us get an offside call go our way, especially how last year went. We had like at least 5 or 6 offside calls against us that went the other team's way. They were right almost every time. There was one with Daniel Carr when I was sure he wasn't offside, and they still called it offside for the other team. Against Montreal, the other team got the call. But anyways, to my top 3 MVPs of the season, and number 1 should be no surprise to anybody. Traded for Alex Galchenyuk from Arizona. He came over. Instant impact from the day he's been there. When he isn't getting points, which he usually does, he always provides the team with good physical play. He is always a heart and soul player. Lots of fire, skates, works hard every night. Can't say nothing about him. There's not one game I've seen this year where he didn't work hard, even when he didn't produce. He's always working hard. He's always skating, always on the puck. Max Domi, 51 games played, so no injuries this year. 16 goals, already double what he's had the past 2 years. The past 2 years in Arizona, he's had 8 and 8, and 4 were empty netters. So he has 16 goals in 1 year in Montreal, what he had in Arizona in 2. He has 28 assists. He has 44 points. He's a +6. This is a guy who's been a minus player his whole career in Arizona. Every year he's been there. He's a +6 in Montreal already. He has 28 assists, 44 points. Amazing. Not far off his total from last year. About 15 points away or something like that. He's got 59 penalty minutes. He takes some costly penalties at the end of the game, but he's a really fiery player. He fights quite a bit. He's instigated a few fights now, and he's got the extra 2 for instigating the fights. And sometimes players do get under his skin, and he'll do kind of greasy things like slash him in the wrists or trip him or stuff, but that's just Domi for you. He's a Domi. Why do you expect? Look at how his dad was. My God. He has 6 power play points, which could be a lot better, but he never was a huge power play producer in Arizona anyways. He's on the second power play line with Kotkaniemi and Tatar and Petrie and all those guys. He got 6 power play points, which on this team is actually like up there. I'm pretty sure he's one of the leaders in power play points, sad to say, with only 6. That just shows how bad our power play is, but you can't just put that on Domi. That's the team. He has 14.7 shooting percentage, which is great, higher than he's ever had in Arizona, and higher than a lot of top scorers in the league have. 14.7 of the shots he takes go in. And that's Max Domi. 40 hits, like I said, a physical player. He's always there every game. He gets a hit. He averages pretty much a hit a game. And for a guy who's playing center, that's not too bad. And he also plays center for us. That's why I feel he should be number 1. Montreal desperately need a center depth. And the guy I have at number 3, people will probably dispute he's not the biggest reason why we're winning this year, but the center depths he adds and the position he plays and his defensive play 100% sticks out to me above a lot of people. But that's the guy I got at number 3. And Max Domi sticks out about everybody. In my opinion, he's our number 1 center. I absolutely love Deneau. Deneau does a lot. He is considered the number 1 center. He plays, I don't know if he plays more than Domi, but he's slotted in as the number 1 center. But if there was a true guy we absolutely had to pick, it was like an all-star game, we had to pick one center on the team, I would pick Domi above anybody. Especially after this year. My God, he looks great playing center in Montreal. He looks better playing center in Montreal than he did on the wing in Arizona, and that's saying something. Number 2, Carey Price. This guy's pretty much our MVP every year, except for last year and a year when he got injured. But he's pretty much the number 1 MVP going into All-Star break, going into the end of the year, beginning of the year. This guy is the heart and soul of this franchise. He's the superstar of the franchise, and he's the number 1 pillar of the franchise. The team is basically built around him. You can say it's built around Shea Weber too, but it's built in front of Carey Price. Carey Price is our rock and our stone, and he's the guy he's the sole reason for some of our years where we just crept into the playoffs, And he's the sole reason for that year we went on a run to the Eastern Conference Finals with his play against Boston, because the team wasn't scoring. Almost every game we won was either 3-2, 2-1, 2 had to go to overtime. We had to win the series in double overtime. Price stood on his head every game. It seemed like he was getting 40-odd saves every game to me. He's had really good times in the playoffs. Before he got hot in the playoffs, he had a bit of a struggle as like a rookie in his first 3 or 4 years. That was a knock on him. He wasn't good in the playoffs. But since 2014, he's been a beast in the playoffs. The 2 or 3 years he's been in there, he's been a beast. Since 2013, actually, he's been really good in the playoffs. So, it's going to be good to see him, if us to get into the playoffs, get on a little good run this year. I don't think we're a cup contender. It would be nice to see, but it'd be good to see him get on a good run this year, get some confidence going, so when our prospects are up next year or the year after, we can be a serious contender. And Price knows that he can be there in the playoffs. We just need the team in front of him to get him to get us to the playoffs and to get him his Stanley Cup, because he has everything but a Stanley Cup. I've listed off this guy's accolades on about 5 videos, so I don't need to list off his accolades anymore. But his numbers this year are impressive so far. After a guy who struggled for the first month and a half, below 500, below 900, thank God, not 500, below 900 the first month and a half, and he really struggled the first month and a half of the season. But since then, he's been a beast with almost a 950 save percentage, and his overall numbers this year. In 38, he's only played 38 games out of 51, so props to Niemi. Niemi got a lot of starts, and Niemi's got us some big wins too. Not terrible numbers for a backup, not super numbers, but if we need Niemi to be dependent on, he can be a lot of times. There's times he lets us down, but as a backup, he's one of the best in the league, in my opinion, especially after last year. Price got 38 games played, 20, 13, and 4. So he got 20 wins. He's up there top 6, 7 in wins. He got 915 save percentage, 2.56 goals against, and he's been solid all year. So Price, number 2. Team MVP, number 2 reason why we're winning so much. It wasn't for Price being as good as he was. He stole the game in Arizona last night. He stole the game against Florida a couple of games ago. He stole the game against Boston, got 3 shutouts. Great player. Number 3, people can dispute it. People can agree if they want. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, super rook. May not have the points to produce it, but he's getting lots and lots of shots. He got more posts than anybody in the league. I think he's hit more posts than anybody in the league. He only has a 6.9 shooting percentage. He doesn't shoot as much as he could to. He's more of a pass-first player, but his shot is beautiful. His shootout move that he did in the Habs All-Star Games, the Habs Skills Competition, his spinorama. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube, check it out. Beautiful. His toe drag move that he had, gorgeous. He's a super rookie. He gives us center depth. He's top 4, top 5 amongst the rookies this year. He isn't madly producing, but if he could get his finish percentage up, which I know he will, I can tell just by the way he's playing and the way he's coming out now, he will. He's going to be a 20 or 30 goal scorer. Don't care what anybody says. He could easily be 60, 70, 80 point player. Who even knows, 100 point player down the road. He's 100% our future number 1 center, barring some devastating injury or completely falling off. I love what I see from the guy, and it's not just what he does offensively and as plays he makes. He's our best center at getting back defensively, in my opinion, next to Danault, him and Danault. He's always in the right position. His hockey IQ is amazing for the youngest player in the league, only 18 years old, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi 100% deserves this 3rd spot, because his smile, his confidence, the exuberation of his confidence, you can see it makes everybody around him happier. He's a big part of the attitude change in the locker room, in my opinion, with that big smile and that happy-go-lucky attitude. Just happy to be there. And he makes guys that have been there for years feel like they're just happy to be there, and you can see it on their faces. And I love watching him play with the team. Some of his numbers are 51 games, played every game, healthy as a horse, loving it. 6 goals, 17 assists. He could have 15, 16 goals if he just wasn't rocking the post with them shots all the time. I swear to God, this guy got about 20 posts he's hit. Like, dead on. His shot is gorgeous. He's going to get it going. That shooting percentage is going to rise. It's inevitable, and he needs to shoot more. But God, is he good. 17 assists, 23 points, plus player for an 18-year-old youngest player in the league on a team that's supposed to suck. Plus player, plus 3. 4 power play points. He's almost up there with Domi in power play points. 18 years old, youngest player in the league, playing on the power play. Amazing. Center depth, second line center on our power play. Even though it's a beautiful power play, he's still on it. 22 block shots. Like I said, great defensively. He's always back there. He's not scared to get in front of the puck, and he's not scared to hit, as you can tell. 34 hits. Great rookie. Love Jesperi Kotkaniemi. He's the future #1 center. He's a nut like Price and Weber and those guys. He's way younger too. He's a pillar of the franchise. Let's hope he's around forever. Let's hope Poling is half as good as Kotkaniemi been in the league. He may not be showing it in the point totals of only 23 points, but watch the guy play and tell me he's not an absolutely great player, future NHL superstar. The Barkov and Kopitar comparisons I was hearing coming into the beginning of the year that I was kind of shaking my head out a bit, they're 100% deserved. Great player, so good they wouldn't even let him go to World Juniors. We kept him around. Absolutely great player. Has played with so many different guys, Shaw, Lehkonen, Byron, Armia, and he plays good no matter who he plays with. He's been third line center all year. He hasn't been up and down the lineup. He's kept his position. He's going nowhere but up in my mind. And those are my 3 MVPs for the Habs this year. Hopefully you agree with me. If you don't, feel free to comment and tell me your 3 MVPs. I know a lot of people would have Tatar. Some people might even have Drouin. A lot of people would have Petrie. I can't put Weber up there. He's missed too many games. If he played the full season, if he played the full 51 games, he'd definitely be up there just by the way he's going, the way he's playing. He's a big pillar of this, big part of this team too, but he needs to play a few more games so I can 100% say he's in that top 3 of the team, like most dependent on players. A lot of people would dispute that, but he hasn't been backline enough, in my opinion. So that's my top 3 MVPs for the Habs this year. Hopefully you like this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the page. More subscribers the More subscribers the merrier. Hope to hear a comment from you. Hope to get a like. Enjoy your day. This is Mr. Average Hockey Fan. Go Habs, go, baby. 10 days and we're back again.